Hey everyone, it's Kristen. So today we're going to be talking about Uncanny X-Men 3. I wore my one of my Rogue shirts today. I think this is a really fun shirt. I got it a couple years ago. I can't remember like exactly, where I got it or anything. But I believe I have a Storm shirt that's similar to um that's somewhat I have so many comic book shirts that it's kind of ridiculous. Like I have a whole bag of them that I don't wear anymore. That one day I thought maybe I'd make like a quilt out of all of them or something. I don't know, something fun. Because there's a lot of them I don't wear, whether they're because a lot of them are men's shirts, and me being petite, they come like almost all the way down, to um you know, down to my shorts, basically. So it's almost like a dress, but it's not flattering like a dress. Anyway, sorry, tangent. Sorry. Anyway, so I love this cover because Nightcrawler is one of my favorite male characters. I have talked about before, like I love the juxtaposition of, his appearance and his faith. And I think it's fun that they said catch the elf. You'll understand why. Okay, so I have a theory. So here we have Xavier in, the Grey Malkin prison, which of course we knew he was there. I mean, that wasn't a question. And he's talking to Sarah, supposedly, but do you see Sarah in the room? No. My theory is because they're talking about, she Charles says, this is impossible. And she's like, don't speak to me about impossible. And basically, she wants to know where the children are. And she says something really weird. Like, she's like, do you miss my womb, Charles? Like, I don't know. I mean, that makes me think mother, but yeah, I don't think this is his mother. That's kind of weird, but why else would she say that? So she's like, wherever the children are, I will find them. I think she has some kind of telepathic powers because she is talking to Charles, but she's not in the room. And there's a couple other instances why I think that. Like telepathic, projection, you know, um, something like that. Some kind of powers like that. So we're in Louisiana and you see Rogue, she can't sleep. So she, gets up and she's thankful that Marcus and his family took them in. She finds Logan in the kitchen and he's drinking tequila. And he's like, do you want some? And she's like, no, I'm good. Isn't it too early for that? And he's like, no, not really. And they're talking about the kids. And, he calls Calico Horse Girl. And Rogue says, you better, start calling them by their names if you're going to train them. And she realizes that he's leaving. And she's like, how can you do this? When I need you, when the kids need you. And he's like, it's because I know that you don't really need me, that I'm leaving. And he said, there's something wrong with me. There's something like wild inside of me that I don't need to be around, people right now. That did no good, sorry. uh, and he said, tell Jubes something. She'll take this hard. Because, of course, um, Rogue and Wolverine have a bond back from when she first joined the X-Men, their first mission together, one Uncanny X-Men 172 to 73. She saved the love of his life, and then he saved her in return. And then, of course, Jubilee, she rescued him when she found him in the Outback. And so they've always had that bond too. So Marcus is talking about, respect the rules of the house, respect my wife and my daughter. Everyone cooks, everyone cleans, everyone does chores. Those are the rules while you're here. And oh, and Wolverine's like, I left you a present outside, and I'm not sure what that present is, unless it's Nightcrawler, because that's the only thing that's shown, that we don't already see. So, and apparently Marcus's daughter, Chelsea, is a mutant because he says, and Miss Rogue, don't be putting any letters on my girl's clothes. You hear? So, the X-Men. So I'm pretty sure that she's a mutant. So, okay, this is another reason why I think that the hag is like telepathic or something. Because here is the director, the warden, talking with her head of security, and they're talking about how can she get into the room, Charles's cell, when we have the most sophisticated security system in the world, and no one saw her just walk into a cell. That's why I think she wasn't really there, that it was like telepathic in nature, and that she was communicating with him. And Philip, the warden's pet mutant, is like, she's going to kill all the children. She's going to murder all the children. So here they have a makeshift danger room, and the object of the game is to get the belt from Nightcrawler. And Calico says, a goblin, like Mother said. I still, even though we learn more about her, I still don't know what's going on with her, but I have a theory. So, and I think this looks cool. Like I might have to pick this up. Psylocke has always been, kind of one of my favorites. Just it looks cool. Uh, I don't know, but she was made for violence, like makes me hesitate just because I don't know. So now we learn about Jitter. Like I said, I thought honestly she had speed powers. That is not the case. The watch is important though because she learned that she can do anything for a minute. So she sets her watch, so she knows how long she has. So these girls were bullying her in school, and she became a kickboxer and, took them out. And she beat the leader of the girls so bad that she can't even walk anymore. I mean, she feels bad for what she did, but, And then Ransom calls Nightcrawler a furry, and Nightcrawler's like, I'm not offended by that. They have great parties. I'm sure most of you guys know what furries are. They're like, well, actually, I'm not even technically sure what they are. Like, they're people that like to pretend that they're animals and they dress up as animals. Is that correct? Am I assuming that's correct? Anyway, if you know like the real definition or whatever, let me know because I haven't really looked into it much because like, once you start going down like rabbit holes, then yeah, then it's called a rabbit hole for a reason. So anyway, Ransom talks about the fact that he was born without a heart, and his parents are super wealthy, and they're very concerned about appearances. Kind of reminds me of Sunspot's parents, Roberto's, in X-Men '97. Super wealthy, very concerned about appearances. We're not happy that they have a mutant for a son. They wanted him to keep it quiet, um, and they even turned him in to Operation Zero Tolerance. So anyway, so he was born without a heart. He was kidnapped. His parents refused to pay the ransom. That's super harsh. And the kidnapper shot him 14 times, and that just made him stronger. So he ran away from home when he was 13, which I don't blame him. And then we get to Calico, which, okay, this is my theory on her. So she was homeschooled. Her mother was super strict, super harsh. She said at one point her mom locked her in a cupboard for 4 days. Cut out from the outside world, no friends, no TV, no music, no movies. And basically Ember and the horses were her only friends. And so one night she woke and there was smoke. And so I think the stable and her house burned. Okay, so my theory is since she says she's not a mutant, that Ember is the one with powers. Like she has some kind of fire powers, and the horse accidentally set the um, stable and the house on fire, and they have this telepathic bond, and that's what allows her kind of to, you know, bring out Ember's power. That's my theory because she said specifically she's not a mutant. So that's what I think. So, and there has been like a history of animals being mutants, because I forget which issue it is, but when Beast was drawn more like a, sorry, sorry, that's distracting to me. Um, when Beast was drawn more like a cat, he found this cat girl in the barn or this abandoned house or something, and he was super excited because there was someone else now that looked more like him. And it turns out she wasn't even a mutant, like a human mutant. She was actually a cat mutant. So a cat that actually was a mutant so much that she had some human features. Like she had a human body, she kind of like Tigra, human body but covered in fur, the cat-like eyes. But she had then still had the intelligence, brain waves, brain patterns of a cat. So that's what kind of makes me think of it, is that so it's possible Ember, the horse, could be a mutant, and that's where, yeah, the powers are coming from. And since they have this like bond, then that's how she's using her power. And then we have Death Dream pops up on Nightcrawler, startles him, because I'd be startled too with that, face glaring at me. So basically, he tells a Nightcrawler his journey. He was born stillborn. He had his umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. He died 3 more times. They revived him until he could revive himself. And when he's alive, all he does is think about death. And when he's dead, all he wants to do is be alive. And he has friends like spirits, something like that, that do basically whatever he wants them to do. And he's saying like, I know you're afraid. And then you see him strangling Nightcrawler, and Rogue comes to the rescue and throws him off of Nightcrawler. And Death Dream's like, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I can't help it, I'm poisoned. And Nightcrawler's like, that's okay, little one, I know you have a good heart. And Ransom's like, I don't, because he doesn't have a heart. And Death Dream says, mine has worms in it. So, and then Calico, she's holding the belt, and she's like, does this mean I win? Because that was the object of the whole training exercise. So we have Wolverine. Okay, we're getting to, another point where I have this. Oh, and I forgot, like back, because this relates to what happens now. So back here at the breakfast table, when Wolverine's like, I'm leaving, he calls Rogue Moonbeam, which, okay, honestly, like I'm a huge fan of Rogue. I don't, that's super annoying. I don't remember him ever calling her that before. Like maybe I just missed it or forgot about it, but I feel like that would be a pretty big thing to remember, or I feel like I'd remember that. But anyway, so he calls her Moonbeam when he's trying to explain why he's leaving. So, like I said, I totally forgot about that, but this relates to this too. So he has this bus driver or this trucker drop him off in the middle of the Louisiana wilderness. And he is surprised by the hag. And he's like, how's that possible? How did I not hear you or smell you? She's like, because I didn't want you to. And then she says, yeah, your claws. Don't you think someone from my realm wouldn't have an answer for that? She's like, my nails are made of the blades from melted down blades of killers. It's called somber steel. She said, I can hear the screams of, the victims. So from my realm, that's interesting. Like, I'm not sure what that means, honestly. But okay, and this is another thing I didn't understand. Like, she's wanting him to say his catchphrase, his phrase, his slogan, which, to me, Wolverine's slogan is like, I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice. That to me, that's his slogan. And she basically, she's like, say it, Moonbeam. So she uses, his nickname for Rogue, on him. And like that's what I'm saying. I feel like she has some kind of psychic powers. Like she knows stuff. And that's how she communicated with Charles in his cell, and that's how she knows this nickname that he has for Rogue. And his slogan apparently is not dead yet. Which, like I said, I think I always thought the other one was his slogan. I never heard him, well, I don't really recall that being his slogan or him saying that like a whole ton. But, I mean, I'm an X-Men fan, but of course I haven't read every single thing with Wolverine. I mean, Rogue probably, yeah, but Wolverine, no. So that might have become a thing and I just didn't know about it. Um, and she jokes, well, it's not exactly Avengers Assemble, is it? Like to his, slogan, not dead yet. And then, okay, this is another weird part. Like all of a sudden, Rogue and Wolverine are communicating telepathically, and Wolverine is like, you have to get away from the kids. And Rogue, presumably, I think, because the Hag is coming after the kids. So basically, Rogue and Nightcrawler and Gambit and everyone else is in danger because she's coming after the kids. Um, but yeah, they're communicating telepathically, and Rogue can feel like something's wrong and that he's dying. And which I'm like, okay, when did that start? Like, I don't remember that either. Of course, yeah, like I said, they have had a bond ever since their first mission, but I don't remember them ever really like having that psychic rapport like Scott and Jean do. And plus, Rogue isn't like a natural telepath. I mean, she might have gotten these powers from, when she borrowed them from somebody else, because for quite a while she could recall powers that she had borrowed before. But I don't know. I'm like, there's a couple things in this issue that just kind of come out of left field for me. I'm like, am I missing something? Did I miss something? I mean, it's possible, but like I don't think I missed anything. Like I'm not like like I said, I don't think I missed anything, but I could have. So, and then this is the cover to next month's issue, which, like I said, I will probably get like what, a week, 2 weeks late. Oh, that's so annoying. Anyway, but yeah, so those are my theories on what's going on. I mean, the womb comment from Sarah, when they met, they were both young, so it doesn't seem like that's his mom, but why else would she say, womb in that way? And like I said, I think she has telepathic powers or some kind of like psychic projection or something, because no one saw her physically walk in there, and we didn't see her actually in the room with him. And she knew about Wolverine's nickname for Rogue, Moonbeam. So I feel like she has some kind of psychic powers. I don't know. And speaking of psychic, the rapport between Rogue and uh, Wolverine that just all of a sudden, like out of the blue, happened. If like if you remember, oh yeah, this is why this is, yeah, let me know. Because, yeah, I don't, like, I feel like I should know something like that. But all along, I feel like maybe Rogue's developing more of a keen sense that, like, some kind of psychic powers, because she has commented, like, in Uncanny X-Men 1, her, she sensed something was wrong with Wolverine. So maybe it's more of, like, a her thing that's happening to her. So, I don't know. Anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you join me in the future for more videos. I think in the next video, I'm going to talk about Dazzler #1, the newest one, which, I was really excited to read, but there are a couple moments where I'm like, okay, for me. But I still, like I said, I still love Dazzler. I was still excited to read it. So I hope you join me for that too, and for, future mansion videos, because I'm still working on that. I feel like I'm always going to be working on that. But anyway, so Subscribe, like, share. I appreciate anything that you guys do. Comments. I love responding to comments. So yeah, just keep it up. I appreciate it. So until next time, bye.